Hey everyone, this is Bake for Life, and in today's Transformers video review, we'll be taking a look at another of the Transformers Generations Combiner Wars figures from their first wave. This is Skydive, one of the members of the Aerialbots who will form Superion. So let's start with packaging review as always. And again, you can see a really nice box, or I guess card, for Skydive. You can see him here in the front, again, the chest being made up of the combiner port, as well as some accessories you can see here, like the foot and his weapons. On the top here, you do get an image of Skydive that looks like a little bit better quality than the drag strip one. Still not a very crisp image. I don't know if they just used a low quality image or if they zoomed in too much. I'm not really sure, but I do kind of wish that they did a better job of the image quality on the back of the card. And again, as we saw with the first, you can combine these to form Superion, which you get an image of Superion in his action figure version up here, and in his art version here. And you can see he's number 2 of 5 for Superion, and he's also number 2 of this wave, from the first wave of the Combiner War series. You get a nice image of his alt mode. You get, again, an image of the stat card, or bio card, I guess, that you get with this series. And then we're going to come along to the back. See a little bit of his robot in alt form again. It says it transforms in 11 steps, which is nice. A short bio. Again, all these deluxes can be an arm or a leg, and can be mixed and matched between Decepticons and Autobots. And here you can actually see them highlighting Skydive as the left arm of Superion. And you get to see the rest of this first wave. So drag strip Skydive, Silverbolt being one of the Voyagers along with Optimus Prime, Alpha Bravo, and Firefly. So yeah, that's really it for packaging review. Let's go ahead and get this guy open and do the review. So here we have Skydive out of packaging. He comes with a few things that have become standard for the Combiner Wars line, especially Deluxes. So first up is the character card, which you see some nice artwork. The only downside about this card I noticed is that the head on this character looks much more Seekerish than Skydive. So, okay. And also the coloring is a little bit different. I'm going to touch on that when we get to robot mode review. The other thing that you get is a set of instructions, which, because he does have both ways that you can transform, as well as into the 2 different types of lens, since it is Scramble City, this booklet gets really long. I'm not even totally folded out yet. And they decided not to do a booklet, but instead this weird accordion thing, and they didn't do it as a simple fold in half, fold in half, fold in half thing. It's really quite annoying. So we're not gonna look at that ever again, because folding it up is annoying. So let's go ahead and get into robot mode review. First, we'll go ahead and get started off with some of the accessories, since I need to get them out of the way anyway. So he comes with 2 sets of weapons. First is his kind of double barrel gun. Standard 5mm peg. Hollow on the inside, which is kind of annoying, but I guess you're not going to really look at it from the side. Next up is his other weapon. Is a kind of like a dual missile launcher, but it also acts as his combiner fist/foot. So how that works, just to show you how it works real quick, is if you extend this piece, which is like the thumb, you have the foot, which is kind of talonish, 2 toes and 1 big heel on the back, I suppose. If you can transform into the foot, come along to the bottom, flip this out with that tab, and then fold at this pin, fold the thumb, and then depending on whether it's a left or right hand, you can rotate it up for a left hand or rotate it down this way for a right hand. Since he's going to be a left arm, I'm going to go ahead and fold it like this for now. But yeah, it's cool that they kind of made this a triple changer kind of device, in the sense that it can also be a handgun. You just peg this into this tab here, and he has the handle. Off to the side, and let's get into the meter robot mode review. So here is Skydive, and he looks really good. He has a lot of the good coloring that you kind of remember from the G1 days, the red, the black, and the gray. It's pretty spot on. The only thing that I wish they changed was the shoulders. I wish they were black because he's only really had the chest red, like this part red, and then the shoulders were always, and most of the torso, aside from the front, was all black. So if only these two sections were black and this U shape was red, it'd be pretty spot on recreation and modernization of the color scheme. The only other thing that I'd complain a little bit about is the head sculpt. So let's zoom in on that very quickly. And while the head sculpt is pretty good, it doesn't remind me of Skydive. He had a much blockier head in the cartoon and the comics, and obviously the G1 toy. But this head is pretty nice. It has some nice kind of orangish detail, blue eyes that are pretty striking. It is on a ball joint, and it can rotate all the way around. It gets a little bit down, a little bit of up, and a good deal of bobble. Alright. Let's zoom out and do some articulation. So as far as articulation goes, Skydive has ball jointed shoulders. So he can go out like this. He can go up all the way around. And he also has a rotation joint here. This is really for transformation, but it does give you a little bit of more movement in the shoulder area. He does have a bicep swivel. He does have a 90-degree bend at the elbow. He does have a lower waist. It's like right above the hips rotation here. He does have ball jointed hips, so he can get a good range of motion forward and back. There's a nice neat deep knee, and you can actually move it forward a little bit too if you want to like bird leg it, chicken leg it. And the bottom of the foot is all two molded pieces, so no foot or ankle articulation there. Let's do a quick 360 since I forgot to do it earlier. But yeah, he's really good looking from most angles. He does suffer from the hollow arms, which had plagued Hasbro toys for quite a while, but not as bad as some of the hollowness elsewhere. The only other place that's kind of hollow is behind the head. I can get my finger all the way in there, and there's not much you can do about that because I mean, they could have done something, but I'm not going to complain too much because you're not really going to look at them from straight down. And they needed that room for the combiner port to move around and so forth. Yeah, the only other thing I could say with articulation is if you want to fold the wings out, this is not really G1-ish, but if you want to do that, it doesn't look bad. I kind of liked that look too, just to have the wings folded out around his arms. But let's fold them back. Let's go into transformation. So to talk about how we're going to do transformation, because he does have 4 modes. We're going to go from robot to alt to leg, and then finish off from leg to arm, since he is technically an arm, even though he can scramble city, so he's designed to be an arm. Alright, so the first thing up to go into alt mode, let's go ahead and rotate the head around so you don't see it. Sorry again. Next thing we'll do is go ahead and pull back on the cockpit, and that straightens out like this, and then you fold that flat, and that pegs in. The pegs are, just to show you where the pegs are actually, where am I looking at? Oh, am I missing maybe there are no pegs. Oh, there they are. So it's these just kind of little nubs here that grab onto the front here. Yeah, and that holds everything into place. The next thing we're going to do is open up the legs. So the legs have the back of the legs that fold out, the calves. And this joint is kind of interesting. I've seen it before in like some third-party figures. I think this might be the first time I've seen it in a first-party figure. So you actually rotate this down, and you want to keep this gray piece flat, so it sits in like so. You do that with both legs, and then you're going to fold them up and peg them together. I didn't show it before, but you do fold these wings down. And then here you rotate at that joint I was talking about earlier. You fold that down, fold this down, and then the last thing you do is push these shoulders back, and they rotate around. So the hinge, it actually kind of goes in a circular pattern, and it comes back down, and you pull it forward. So push it back and down. You can see it better if I do it from the side. From here, push it back and down. And then the arms have little slots, and there's tabs on the left side of the legs. You just tab those in, and you're mostly done. Oops, this came up. You can just fold down the tail section here, and there we have Skydive in alt mode. So quite nice. I mean, you're going to still get the whole robot on the bottom of a plane action going on with this guy. You see arms here, legs, but for the most part, it's not as bad as it could have been. It's pretty sleek. There are no landing gear. I mean, they kind of use these little tabs here, but there's no front landing gear that folds out or anything like that. Articulation wise, there's really nothing in alt mode. But we'll do a quick 360. Alt mode, you get to see a lot of the nice paint that they did. This gold paint and black paint are actually quite nice. They're really glossy. The Autobot logo is really nice. Even the detail on these tail fins or whatever you call them are pretty nice. They even went ahead and painted the intakes here silver, when you're not really going to see that for the most part. So yeah. Quite nice gold missiles that you can see here. As far as the weapon storage, they have ports here and here. So you have a couple of options. You could put a gun here, or you can put one on each of the wings. It looks kind of goofy to have them different weapons on each side, but at least you have options. Alright, let's go ahead and finish off with alt mode, and then go to from alt mode to leg mode. So leg mode is pretty easy. Let me actually zoom out a bit so you guys can see a little bit better. Oops, sorry about that. So leg mode, we're just gonna fold these up like so. We're also going to deal with these arms. So what the arms do is they unpeg from the sides, and then you're going to need to rotate them at the shoulder joint like so, and then fold them back. From here, you want to rotate this so the black piece is facing the wing. Rotate it up at the elbow, and there's a tab and a slot here. Same thing on the other side, just rotate at the shoulder, rotate it up, bend the elbow, tab that in, if you can see the tab. Sorry, can't really see it. There we go. The next thing we're going to do is pull the cockpit back. So pull that back. I'm going to fold this up and tab these in, so that these two tabs here and the slots here. Sorry if you can't see that. Two tabs and slots. Fold those in. Let's see, what else do we have to do? Oh, so you need to rotate the combiner port out. To do that, you do need to unpeg the two legs a little bit and then rotate it down. Because of the way the combiner port comes, you're going to have the face here, so rotate it back forward and that way you won't see it in leg mode. And then just close the legs back up. And there we have leg mode. You just bring in the foot, fold out the heel. There's a hole and a peg. And there we have leg mode. So not the cleanest leg mode. It does have a little bit of wobble in it just because the foot is a little thin. But overall not bad. So not really much to say. I'll talk more about combined mode when I do the combined mode video once air raid is out. So to get to from leg mode to arm mode, you're going to do a little bit of finagling again. So you're mostly there, but you need to make the arm come out. The leg joint, sorry, the legs come out. So separate the legs, and then on that interesting leg mechanism, you just want to stretch them back out like you're going to robot mode. And again, you need to keep these white pieces in line, or gray pieces, whatever color you want to call them. And then you use these tabs here to fit into the back of the leg. And here you're basically in arm mode. The only other thing you want to do is rotate the joint down like so. But because the face is now visible up here, you want to rotate the head back. The last thing you're going to do is make the hand into the fist, like I showed before, just pulling out the fingers here, rotating at that pin, rotating this up if it hasn't already, and then folding that down. And now you have arm mode. It's a little long, and you'll see it when I do the combined mode review at some point, but this is supposed to be the back, which makes it a little weird because if you had this as the back of the arm, you could actually make use of this joint and this joint to get a lot of articulation, a really deep elbow. But as it stands, like I said, this is the back of the arm, so the elbow really you only really use the hips to get motion in the arm. And because there's a port there on either side that goes all the way through, you can use any 5mm weapon like the double barrels that come with Skydive and plug that in. Oops, sorry, let's get that out of the way, and hurriedly let's go back into all the other modes, going backwards just so you guys can see that. So we'll go ahead and transform the fist back into the foot, fold that in, rotate that down, straighten that out, so you have the foot. Next thing we'll do is deal with the combiner port. Let's go ahead and rotate the head back facing forward. Rotate that all the way down. Split the legs back and then collapse them back into the leg cavity. There we go. Close these up, back into leg mode, and now we're going to go into alt mode. So alt mode, let's get rid of this. You're going to have to open this up, so just a little bit so you can rotate the combiner port in, fold this out, not fold it out, rotate the head back, collapse the legs again. You're going to unpeg the cockpit, straighten it out, and then fold it down. Arms, you're going to want to unpeg, rotate them like this, rotate the shoulders so that they line up like that. Rotate the black piece so it's facing outwards, and then you're pegging that in again with this peg. So once again, rotate this around, rotate the shoulders around, rotate the forearm so that it pegs in and the black piece is on the outside. Fold the wings down. Fold the tail pieces down. We're back in alt mode. And lastly, let's go back into robot mode. Well, one thing that I wanted to mention that I failed to mention before, when these wings fall down, there are tabs here, and it makes it feel like it should tab, and there's even a little cutout here, a tab that might sit in there, but it doesn't even come close to it. I guess they put that tab here just to make it straight, so the wings are straight, like dead on. So just don't be confused if this doesn't tab on it. It's not held into place with anything except friction. So let's go ahead and get this guy back into robot mode. So the first thing we'll do is fold these wings back, fold these tail pieces back. Let's unpeg the arms. Again, rotating at the shoulder joint all the way up and around. And there is a little tab on the inside of the shoulder right there. And that goes into this section here. So rotate that up, tab that in. Let's deal with the fuselage again. Just pull, you want to pull pretty much straight up on it. It's just kind of hard to do. So just pull your way out of it. Rotate that up, fold this down. Make use of those two pegs here and go into those slots. Open up the legs, the back of the legs. Pull the legs all the way out, making sure that gray piece is straight again. Same thing on this side. Close up the legs, tab those two pieces into the back, open it up. Oh, I didn't rotate the shoulders up, so again, bring the shoulders up where they don't make him look really goofy, and then rotate the head forward, and you have Skydive back in robot mode once again. So, final thoughts on this guy. I actually like the deluxes of these Combiner Wars, especially the first line. I think they're all pretty fun. I do definitely have a favorite, and I'm going to review him last just so I can say he's my favorite of the first wave. And then I haven't gotten the second wave yet, but I should be getting those in the next week or so. But these guys are really fun. I'm liking the Combiner Wars line, especially the members that are the Deluxe and Voyager sides that actually combine into the Venusaur or Superion. They're really fun. I think they're really enjoyable. It's a really good mix between something for adult collectors, which is what the Generations line is targeted to, and also for, you know, just kids who want to have fun figures. These have been the most fun figures I've had, in the sense that they're really fun desk kit figures that you can mess around with. They're easy to transform. They're highly posable, and they're just really fun. So I think they're hitting it out of the park with these guys, even if when I do the combined mode, I do have some complaints about that. But overall, I think they're really bridging the gap between the different types of collectors with the Combiner Wars. Alright? So, if you have any questions or comments, if I missed something, go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep up to date with all my videos and reviews, go ahead and click the subscribe button right around here. And I'll come back next time with the next Deluxe from Wave 1. Alright? That's all for today, everyone. Have a good one.